Can I read?
That a peasant like you should feign interest in a book he cannot read. Can I see?
But I can read.
This is English, Sancho. English. It's a very difficult language.
I've always been fascinated by directors' passion projects, whether it's Darren Aronofsky's Noah or Martin Scorsese's film Silence. I find myself eagerly awaiting the release of them. I always think that they're going to turn out amazing. I mean, how could it not? After all, if a director has been planning it for years, and sometimes even decades, all that effort must amount to something amazing, right? Unfortunately, that's almost never the case. They almost always end up being disappointing, and The Man Who Killed Don Quixote is no different, which is a shame considering I've been wanting to see this movie for over a decade now. It also sucks to say that because I know that the director has been trying to make this movie for over 25 years. It took over a decade for him to secure funding, and when he finally did get the money, he still wasn't in the clear. The first day of filming was plagued by crisis after crisis, which made them shut down filming. This led Gilliam to once again try to find funding for it. Well, it looks like he finally got it, even if the money he got was half the budget of the original attempt. There is a pretty interesting documentary about Terry Gilliam's first attempt at making this film that I would highly recommend you check out. It's called Lost in La Mancha. Not only because it highlights the terrible luck they had, but because it shows how some of the original scenes were supposed to look like. Anyway, onto this film. The story we get here follows a filmmaker who unwillingly goes on an adventure with a shoemaker. The shoemaker thinks he's the fabled Don Quixote. There is a cloud of tiredness and rushness that hangs over the entire film. The production value is way lower than what we come to expect from Gilliam. It feels and looks claustrophobic when compared to his previous works. My assumption is that they had to tone down some scenes due to the budget they had to work with, which is a shame considering that he excels the most in the look and scale of his films. The CGI, the costumes, heck even the makeup comes off looking cheap. The score is generic, minimal, and unaffecting. Most of the non-lead performances seem very under-directed and underacted. The lead performance from Adam Driver isn't much beyond serviceable. There are only two notable performances in the entire film, one of which comes from the woman who plays Angelica. She portrays the broken nature of the character very well. The other one comes from the actor Jonathan Pryce. He's the only one here that I truly believe gave it his all. Despite his character doing and saying things that are crazy, he never makes the character feel cartoonish. His performance grounds the character in reality and makes you question whether he's insane or not. He was a perfect choice considering the material. Speaking of the material, aside from Pryce's joyful performance, the writing is the main highlight of the film. And while it does seem like it's wasting time towards the beginning, once it gets going it becomes pretty entertaining, and towards the end it does have moments of greatness. The movie does a really good job at making the viewer question what they are seeing. Even in the end, it makes us wonder what's reality and what's not. This is something that the director is really good at doing. The best scene by far is Don Quixote's trip to the moon. Pryce portrays the humiliation and the confusion of the character extremely well. Unfortunately, as soon as the movie reaches its height in terms of quality, it kinda just ends. Despite me liking the ending, I couldn't help but feel like it was rushed. As to what it means, maybe this is his mind punishing him for ruining the lives of many people, or maybe it's his mind escaping the harsh reality of his actions. Either way, both are very good endings. I just wish they would explore Toby's guilt a little bit more. The Man Who Killed Don Quixote is by no means a bad film, but it's not great either. I kinda feel like I'm a teacher grading a C paper for one of my honor roll students. It's not a bad paper, I just know that the person who made it is capable of so much more. Check it out when you can, as it's better than the majority of stuff that's playing in the theater at the moment.